Ciao, Sir Richie.
Ciao, Susan.
So, something very eventful happened recently.
Why don't you tell everyone?
We got our first copyright strike.
Woo! Yeah, finally! We've been slaving away for 2 years with no recognition. And now, finally, we've been threatened with legal action.
Now, before we go any further, we have to make a difference between a strike and a claim.
Yeah.
YouTube explains on this page what's a content ID claim. Could you just read what it says there?
A content ID claim. If you upload a video that contains copyright-protected material, you could end up with a content ID claim. Companies that own music, movies, TV shows, video games, and other copyright-protected material issue these claims. Content owners can set Content ID to block material from YouTube when a claim is made. They can also allow the video to remain live on YouTube with ads. In those cases, the advertising revenue goes to the copyright owners of the claimed content.
And then there's a section that says, am I in trouble?
Probably not. Content ID claims usually mean that we found content someone else owns on your YouTube channel. It's up to the copyright owners to decide whether or not others can reuse their own material. Copyright owners often allow their content to be used in YouTube videos in exchange for having ads run on those videos. These ads may play before the video or during it. If copyright owners don't want their material reused, there are some actions they can take. They can block the video entirely, or they can block it on certain platforms.
Thank you, Richie. And when you get a content ID claim, you can either do nothing, remove the music, swap the music, share revenue, or dispute the claim.
Yeah.
So it's not that big a deal. We've gotten those before.
Yes.
For example, when we stream something and let's say Fallout 3 uses music that we get a claim for. Or, when we did a podcast about sci-fi movies?
Yeah.
And you talked about the movie with the talking cat?
A talking cat?
Yeah.
The correct pronunciation.
Thank you. While you were describing that movie, I put a clip from the trailer for that movie.
Yep.
And we got a claim for that, which was fine. Like, we don't really care. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can have the 3 cents we were going to make on that podcast.
Yeah.
And we also got false claims before, and they're really easy to dispute.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, somebody claimed that your voice was their music.
Good.
And, we disputed it, and we were right, and we're fine.
Yeah.
However, in this case, what we're talking about today is not that. We're not talking about a claim. We're talking about a strike.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent you another page. Could you read to us what YouTube says about copyright strikes?
If you get a copyright strike, that means your video has been taken down from YouTube because the copyright owner sent us a complete and valid legal request asking us to do so. When a copyright owner formally notifies us you don't have the permission to post their content, we will take down your upload to comply with copyright law.
A little lower, it says, what happens when you get a strike?
We all make mistakes. When you get a copyright strike, it acts as a warning. However, copyright strikes may affect your ability to monetize. In addition, if your live stream or archived live stream is removed for copyright, your access to live streaming will be restricted for 90 days. If you get 3 copyright strikes, your account along with any associated channels is terminated. All videos uploaded to your account will be removed. You cannot create new channels.
Yeah, so what we got was this.
Yeah.
So technically, you could press submit counter notification for a strike to fight it. But that would mean that you're initiating a legal proceeding. And if whoever gave you the strike decides to counter your counter, you'd need to get a lawyer. And so we're not fighting the strike. And I actually sent them an email.
I feel like the elephant in the room isn't being addressed here, which is where this came from.
No, we'll address it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, I just want to say that I did send these people an email being like, well, you gave me a strike. Like, I didn't use any of your footage. I didn't use any of your audio. I just used stills to talk over on this podcast. I removed all the content. A total of 30 episodes, which you flagged one off. Can you remove the strike? Like, I don't know. They probably won't, but I tried. For those of you who are listening, you're probably wondering, what did we get the strike for? What did we do?
Well, I think when you said 30 episodes, that might have tipped some people off.
Yeah? So, what did we get a strike for, Richie?
Well, we got a strike from one of the 30 Reborn podcasts.
Yeah, I think it was podcast number 9.
Yeah.
It was very specific.
Yeah, just that one.
Just that one.
Yeah.
So I wake up in the morning and I see a message on my channel being like, you got a strike. Now I know what a strike is because it's been talked about a lot. So I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Why? And it's for a Reborn episode. And I'm like, oh my God, we have 30 more of these. Am I going to get 30 strikes and get banned from YouTube, have all my stuff deleted? So I had to spend the morning before work really quickly removing all the Reborn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, yeah, it's 30 episodes, but there's also 30 unlisted episodes that I had to remove. Mm-hmm. So it was quite an eventful morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we didn't use any actual animated footage. We used no sounds from Reborn, but just still images to talk over. And it's also interesting because the podcast, although it took like hundreds of hours of work, it would only get a few hundred views, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. And the entity that gave us the copyright strike is Marvelous. But who are Marvelous Entertainment Inc., Richie? Would you mind reading out this Wikipedia page?
Marvelous Entertainment, aka Kabushiki Gaisha Marvelous Entertainment, was a multinational corporation that produced music, video games, and television series.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they don't exist anymore. This is all written in the past tense. How are they copyright claiming you from beyond the grave?
Well, that's how important Reborn is. Could you continue to local operations?
Locally, Marvelous is involved in a number of forms of entertainment, including the production of anime and music done by 2 Marvelous subsidiaries, Artland and Delphi Sound. Artland is an animation studio that has produced a number of popular anime series, including the award-winning Mushishishi and the hit shonen Katekyo Hitman Reborn. Do you like how Mushishi is award-winning, and then Reborn is just popular?
And the interesting thing is, if you Google Marvelous and copyright strikes, you'll see stories of Marvelous copyright striking smaller content creators, including someone else who did a little Reborn thing.
Yep.
Yeah, but also they did it to Sega. Yeah, there's a video on YouTube titled Marvelous Hilariously Strikes Down Sega/Atlas Tokyo Game Show Stream by Spawn Wave Plus.
Right.
So basically, Marvelous took down its stream at Tokyo Game Show where Sega and Atlas were showing upcoming games.
Right.
And the stream went down and was blocked worldwide by
Yeah, well, that's kind of karmic because Sega went through a period of blocking anyone who mentioned the word Shining Force in any of their videos.
Oh, that is karma, but what did we do?
I don't like how you're saying we in this. Like, this whole operation was your idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And every time I log on into Studio now, the first thing I see is channel violations, active copyright strikes, 1 out of 3. Reasons: copyright takedown request removed by Marvelous Inc. on October 16, 2019. Expires on January 14, 2020. So that means if we get 2 more strikes before then, this channel gets deleted and I can never make another channel again, I guess. Oh.
And, like, to be clear, you specified you weren't actually using any footage of Reborn in any of it. You were just using stills.
The Reborn podcast was made out of 3 parts. First, we talk a little before the episode. Then we quote-unquote watch the episode. And I took highlights from the time when we watched the episodes to splice our reactions together into a few minute, reaction video, but using only stills. And then the end of the podcast, which would be usually the longest part, is us talking about the episode.
Yeah. I've heard of Fox doing that as well to people who use stills of The Simpsons and things. Okay, I found out why the Marvelous thing was written in past tense.
Why?
Because they're now a different company that's also called Marvelous.
They don't sound so marvelous to me.
Don't tempt them.
Oh my god!
You're provoking them now.
Oh no! Oh, by the way, to add, you mentioned something interesting. This wasn't automated. This was manual. So somebody found this, watched this, got to episode 9, and was like, no, episode 9, I'm not okay with that.
Was episode 9, especially popular?
No, it wasn't. That's what my boyfriend asked me. And I was, no, they were the only popular quote-unquote ones were the first one, the prologue, where we talk about watching Reborn, which had maybe 1,000-something views.
And then everyone stopped watching.
Yeah. The rest of them were literally a couple of hundred views to 500 views.
Yeah.
It wasn't popular. We weren't doing it because it was going to get popular. We were doing it because I really love Reborn.
Don't know. Well, I don't know why we were doing it at this point.
Because I love Reborn and I wanted to share my love for Reborn with everyone, even if it's just a few people.
I know.
Yeah, and literally that podcast took me the longest to edit because I had to edit our audio, but then I also had to match when we were talking to the stills and and the music.
Yeah.
It was I feel if they copyrighted Bloodborne, I would be less upset because it's okay, well, we said everything we need to say about Bloodborne already.
Yeah.
And a lot of people already heard it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But this was.
Put it up with a completely black screen and call it Reborn, but all the vowels will be asterisks.
Yeah.
I can't believe the makers of Sunrun Kagura would stoop this low.
Oh, man. Yeah. But, Richie.
Yep.
Doesn't Marvelous realize that Reborn isn't, coming back unless there's a remake in the works or the fans create some sort of buzz around Reborn?
I'm going through the Marvelous board of directors right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'm who was responsible?
Who looks the sketchiest?
Well, 4 images of Toshinori Aoki showed up, and there's 4 different people. So clearly, those aren't actually 4 people with the same name. It's that he's a master of disguise.
Oh, no.
He's decoy octopus. So, I think it was probably him.
What if he disguised himself as one of our fans?
So you think this is a deep cover operation to copyright strike one video that no one watched?
Yes.
I've got some very bad news.
What?
We may not do any more Reborn episodes after this.
No.
That's the only way to be safe, is to stop making me watch Reborn.
No, they will not break our spirit. We still love Reborn, okay? The thing is, we have all this footage of season 1.
There's a lot of we in this.
We just got, we have to find a way to just re-edit it a little bit. Oh, but you know what's the sad part? I had 3 episodes left to release, and one of those episodes is where we see Beefcake Island. Remember?
No, I don't remember any of Reborn.
Do you don't remember Beefcake Island?
No, it sounds like something I'd come up with, though.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So season 1 is on hold until we figure out a way to do it. It's just that season 2 we're just gonna do a little differently. in terms of how we present it. So maybe a little more emphasis on the post commentary, and maybe the reaction will be available on like Patreon, but just as a blank screen. I don't know. We'll see. But also, Richie, there is a way we can fix this. All we have to do is get 1 million subscribers. YouTube literally doesn't care what you do as long as you have 1 million subscribers. You can promote scams, you can abuse the homeless, you can eat Tide Pod. YouTube is like, bro, it's just a prank.
I note that wasn't one of the possible responses to copyright strikes. There's no bro, it's just a prank option.
So, if we get like an extra subscriber per video that we upload.
If we get 1 extra subscriber per episode of the Reborn thing, we just have to watch the rest of Reborn and we'll have 1 million subscribers because the series never ends.
What are we going to call our 1 million subscriber project?
Happy New Year 2070.
Is that good enough to go on a mug and a t-shirt with possibly Brutus in the background?
Can I copyright claim in Brutus because it's technically mine?
What? What?
I came up with the character.
No. I came up with the Brutus. You came up with the voice. Then I went to find an old art that I drew for me that was just this funny sketch that I never used anymore. And this was a Brutus. So it was a team effort. So no, you can't. Also, Holdsworth Hands drew something. Did you see it? Did you see the picture?
Which one?
So while you were sleeping, Holdsworth Hands drew this.
Yeah, oh, that is me.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Oh, is that Ingrid?
Yeah.
Hi, girl. Oh, she sneezed. Oh my god. But I guess we're talking about Reborn, and maybe not everybody knows what it is.
No! This is what got us in trouble to begin with.
But I'm too afraid to put any actual content or pictures or any information about Reborn.
Only you could take a copyright strike that has put the channel in jeopardy because you kept uploading Reborn and use it as an excuse to cover more Reborn content. This is a warning from God.
So I'm sure some people are curious about what Reborn is, but I'm too scared to post any Reborn content.
Okay. I don't think they're curious because up until the other day there were 30 videos about it, and I think if they cared at all, they would have seen those.
Oh my god, Richie, you're such a bully. Is this gonna go on the patron bully tier? I don't know. So what I did is I asked people in Discord to draw their interpretation of Reborn.
Is this your way of getting around copyright ID?
Yeah, exactly. So this is what Jacob drew.
Yep. So you're just going to use this as the background?
I might. And he wasn't the only one. So I did not hit her, drew this. Let me just copy
Didn't Tommy Wiseau used to copyright strike people who used footage of the room, and then he realized it was like the only way people were seeing it, so he stopped?
I think so.
I recall that happening, yeah.
So this is what he drew.
Yep.
Also his interpretation of Reborn, which I think is wonderful.
It's the mark of a great character that you can like simplify the design and still recognize them.
Yeah. And Art Fighter said that his representation of Reborn is this.
Well, close. Took me a second. Yeah.
But Ludkud went in a slightly different direction, but that's very like personal to us.
Yeah. But see, we haven't even got to this part of the series yet. Maybe we never will.
Don't say that. Doom Kitty also posted something more personal.
Accurate.
I think in the background it says, "There's 7 little babies. There are the big something. I'm sure. Rainbow. I see rainbow.
Yeah.
Policy. I see policy. And that's how the world or something." Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Richie, you know how much I love Reborn.
Yes.
This is not the end. And look, again, Doom Kitty posted this. Look at that.
Yep.
Beautiful.
It's very good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no sane person would literally spend hundreds of hours on this podcast that nobody will listen to if true love wasn't there. So we are going to do season 2, and we will come back stronger and bigger than ever. We're just going to present it and package it a little differently. That's all. My boyfriend, though, he was so supportive. He was like, "You know what? Do you want me to redraw the scenes on a Post-it badly and you can insert that and upload that?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, you're so sweet." So maybe that's what we'll have in the background. Who knows?
Yep.
Point being, season 2 is happening, and it's happening soon. But, oh my god, another thing. So this is actually good. This will push us to get 1 million subscribers. This will push us to improve Reborn for season 2. I'm trying to think of other positives, but I feel like it re-energized us and our love for Reborn, you know?
Again, there's a lot of we and us being used in this while I'm just sitting here staring into the distance.
And if you want to help Richie, consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/SinclairLore.
Okay, but the problem is that a lot of that money ends up just going back into you commissioning artwork for the channel. So you're helping me, but it's like you're also encouraging Sin to put random things I say on stickers and mugs and get art drawn of me as Suna. And so it's a trade-off. Like it sort of equalizes, because for every cent that goes to me, another cent is spent.
Well, that's what I was actually thinking, because I'm just staring at a wall, and I was thinking we could get you some nice art for that wall. Some HD Brutus?
Yeah. Do you know what is on my wall?
What?
People are paying attention to how to create like a mental image of where I live. It's a very like 70s fantasy portrait of a wizard summoning a Pegasus.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I got it from a garage sale.
How did you just say garage?
Garage.
Garage?
Garage. Okay, I got it from the yard sale.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I feel like it's been a while since I taught you how to speak properly. So it's pronounced garage.
Garage.
Yeah. Thank you.
Car hole.
Girl. Sometimes I forget what a trunk is called, so I tell my boyfriend to open the car garage.
Do you know what we call the trunk here?
What?
The boot.
The boot?
The boot. Open the boot. We got to put something in the boot. I don't know. The trunk is called the boot and the hood is called the bonnet.
What's a bonnet?
It's like a hat that women wear.
A beret?
No, kind of like what the doll wears in Bloodborne.
Oh, fancy beret.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the hood is the bonnet and the trunk is the boot. So it's
so it's like you're dressing up a car because it has the bonnet on the front and the boot in the back. Yeah.
Are you gonna start claiming that, like, you're a big fan of Reborn, but it's gotten bad since, like, Marvelous and Artland and everyone merged together? Like those Star Wars fans who were like, everything went bad when Lucasfilm was bought by Disney. And you're gonna start claiming that Reborn, like, the true fans need to get Reborn back.
Back where?
Away from Marvelous.
Reborn is already, like, it's already filmed and created. It's there. Like,
yeah, it certainly is. Will never go away.
It's like at work, I have to sometimes approach things differently depending on the situation, you know? Like, you have to be flexible and empathetic. So I think I'm just trying to be flexible and empathetic here as well.
Yeah.
Like, we will do this. We just have to get a little creative.
So
that's all.
Your definition of flexible and empathetic, we will do this. Doesn't really sound like either of those things. You're refusing to back down and insisting that I do something with you, whether I like it or not.
Oh my god, Richie! Richie, we're a unit! Richie, Peel Beam, Snitcher, Bully Beam, we are a unit! So we're being flexible toward how Reborn needs to be presented, not to get the channel deleted. It's okay. Listen, like I said, we are better and stronger from this. So, let me know how much a Crunchyroll subscription in Australia is for 3 months.
It's exactly enough that you wouldn't have enough money to commission Maury Brewitt as artwork.
That's deep, bro. I can't even conceptualize what you just said.
Apparently there's 2 other, like the story of Reborn in the anime is only the first 4 arcs, and then there's a 5th and 6th arc that were only in the manga.
Yeah, I know, but no spoilers, because I was planning on doing the manga after we finished the anime.
Oh no! At least with the anime I could switch off. And just sort of tune out and see a series of colors and shapes. And this is like, no, you have to read.
I will read it to you. Oh, Corvo's here. Oh my god, Richie! Corvo! Richie, Corvo's here. He's on the table and he's purring. He's like, you guys are talking about Reborn? Yes, Corvo, we're talking about your favorite, Reborn. Do you hear him? He's purring.
Mm-hmm.
If I get another cat, I think I'll call him Lambo. Or maybe Hibari. Dun, 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 dun.
Hang on, I'm going to send you a still from this Reborn video that I'm watching.
What is that? What does that mean?
The sound is down, but this appears to be a graph showing that Reborn sales slumped dramatically after about 2009.
Clearly the graph is upside down.
Yeah.
But there's another silver lining to this that we won't tell anyone about because it's a surprise.
I don't even know what it is.
Yes, you do. Because Richie saw how sad I was the day that the copyright strike happened on Reborn.
Yeah.
Like, he felt it through the internet, all the way from Canada to Australia.
Yeah.
He volunteered to cross something off my bucket list.
Well, I was already planning to do that. I just told you when you were upset about Reborn to cheer you up.
Aww. Which character of Reborn do you miss the most already?
Forgotten almost all of them.
I miss all of them. I miss Gokudero, who's in love with Tsuna. I miss Yamamoto, who's always positive and thinks everything is a game. I miss Lambo with his grenades and his 10-year bazooka. I miss Haru, who's totally in love with Tsuna, and she always wears different outfits. 2 times she wore a boat. When they went to the pool, she dressed as a fish.
They should get me to handle Reborn takedowns because I won't be able to recognize any of the footage.
Why?
Because all I remember is just there was a baby in a fedora and then there was a baby dressed as a cow.
Do you remember Kyoko?
The one Suna was in love with but had no personality.
Yeah, so you remember Kyoko.
Yeah.
At some point, you started drawing parallels how Kyoko looks exactly like Tsuna's mom.
Yeah.
And then you're like, this is just like Evangelion.
Yeah. See, if only we'd been covering Evangelion.
Well, we practically did, because he kept comparing it to Reborn.
Because I couldn't think of anything else to say.
What is it? The third phase?
Third impact. It's like that's the third copyright strike.
Oh my god!
There have been 2 copyright strikes in Earth's history, and then Evangelion is about to lead up to the third copyright strike, which initiates the apocalypse. The second copyright strike was the dinosaurs being demonetized.
Oh, damn. I'd say the first copyright strike was the dinosaurs being demonetized. The second one was marvelous copywriting reborn on our channel.
Yeah, and I'm part of a shadowy faction operating in the background who's trying to initiate the third copyright strike without telling anyone. Because I believe it will let me reunite with the spirit of my dead wife.
What the fudge are you talking about? Is that Evangelion?
Yeah.
Is that the plot of Evangelion?
Sort of.
Did you spoil it for me?
It's been out longer than Reborn. I think it predates Reborn by about 10 years.
That's a yes. Rich has spoiled something for me yet again.
Okay, if you want more information on that, look up Plot of Evangelion Explained, and you will get like 20 different explanations. So I don't think I really spoiled anything.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, it's 47 minutes to announce that you got a copyright strike on a series no one watches.
Oh my god, you're so mean! That is so mean! Oh.
Okay, I think what we should do is we should finish season 2, but we don't upload it until January, because that's when the copyright strike will expire.
Okay.
So that way, if we get struck again...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Richie. What are you going to do for the rest of the day?
Probably edit MD Geist.
Oh. I'm ready to record a podcast about MD Geist too.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, we're doing it.
Thank you for phrasing it that way. Whenever you're ready, we're doing it.
Oh my god. Well, you're the one that suggested this anime, okay? Yeah. You did, sir. I'm just making sure to follow through with it. It's actually a very, deep anime. I feel like you learn something new every time you watch it again. I think it's superior to the first one.
Wow.
Yeah, and I thought the first one was already great, so...
Yeah, it's rare that a sequel is better than the original, but MD Geist.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go, eat a bunch of snacks to help fill the hole in my soul. Now that Reborn is gone.
Hang on, I've made something for you.
Oh, and it's pixelated! Lambo! That's beautiful!
This could be anyone.
But you know what? You made a really good point that I didn't think about when I watched Reborn for the first time. When I was re-editing our commentary and stuff. You mentioned that Lambo has a 10-year bazooka, which means he's 15.
Yeah, he doesn't look 15.
He looks like he's in his 20s or more, or 30s. No, but Suna and his friends are also around that age, right? 15, 16. And Hannah, the girl who loves him, she's also around that age, but she keeps saying she likes adult Lambo because he's like an older man. But no, he's your age. It's very weird.
Are you suggesting that aspects of Reborn are not very well thought through?
No, I just think maybe Hannah doesn't realize that he's their age, you know? Or maybe the 10-year bazooka is actually a 20-year bazooka? But now that I said 20-year bazooka, something sparked in my mind, and I can't wait to watch the next season. And also, Richie. Okay, oh my God, Richie. Okay, I'm gonna give you what is it? A carrot?
Mhm.
Gonna give you a carrot?
I
A carrot?
guess,
Is that
I
it?
guess.
Did I use it correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if it's too much of a spoiler, but I think it's to
Yeah.
get you hyped up. So you know how we don't see Tsuna's father in the first season, right?
Yeah.
Right? And I was racking my brain. I'm like, oh my God, where is his father? Who is he? What happened to him? Do we ever meet him? And I could not for the life of me remember at all. But I didn't want to look it up online because I'm like, I don't want too many spoilers because I don't remember most of Reborn. So everything is new and exciting again. And so I went to the Reborn Reddit and I was like, hey, does anybody remember what happened to Tsuna's father? What's the lore behind that?
The lore of Tsuna's father.
And somebody replied. And it just clicked and I was like, oh my God, how could I forget it?
Well, presumably his father is in the mafia.
Well, you'd think, but Richie, okay, I'm going to give you a
Hang
little
on.
spoiler. Don't you Google
I'm not
this?
Google. Why would I? I'm trying to blot it out.
Do you remember which episode season 2 starts on?
No.
34. And do you know which episode we meet Tsuna's dad in?
34?
34! Are you hyped? Are you hyped?
Yeah.
We're gonna meet Tsuna's dad, and it is revolutionary because usually in anime, you don't ever meet the protagonist's parents. It's like everybody's an orphan. But here we meet them.
But hang on, if the whole plot is that Tsuna has, like, the Vongola blood in him, why is his dad not in the mafia?
Well, you'll see. You'll see. It's really clever. You'll see.
Is his dad also a baby?
Plot twist: his dad is reborn.
Well, I kind of like that would weirdly, like... I'm sure it isn't, but, like, if I had to guess, I'd say, like, that's something I can imagine happening. But, like, oh yeah, the weird little creature that's giving you this advice and trying to push you to, like, better yourself was actually your dad the whole time.
That would be cute, but no.
Is it that he died and his soul is in Reborn's gun?
No. No.
And that if you accidentally remove the limiters, Reborn's gun becomes self-aware and tries to eat Bianchi?
What? What? What part of Evangelion is that even?
I think it's like episode 20-something.
What tries to eat who?
Do you want me to... Well, the robot's got the main character's mother's soul in it. It's, like, shackled. And then there's a part where it gets damaged so much that the shackles break, and then it becomes self-aware. And it like, becomes... It starts acting like an animal, and it jumps on the angel and starts, like, ripping it apart and eating it.
Who's the angel?
One of the monsters in Evangelion are called angels. So it's like
Okay.
fighting one of the angels, and it gets so badly damaged that it, like... it regains its sentience, and it attacks it and starts ripping it apart and eating it. And it's, like, extremely explicit, and you see, like, the robot is there, but there's all this, like, blood coming out of its mouth, and it's howling.
Oh.
Yeah. But no, Reborn. Back to the good stuff.
Yeah, back to the good stuff. I don't know, I guess that's about it. Yeah. It's okay, the important thing is to not get any more strikes till January, and to make this negative into a positive.
Yeah, it's legal to break the law again in January.
Oh my god! Are we the mafia?
Well, we'd have to learn a lot more lessons about respect and responsibility first. Oh, I just remembered that because you were doing more Reborn, I bought a copy of Goodfellas. Now we'll get copyright strikes for that as well.
Oh no! I'll ask people to draw their representation of Goodfellas in Discord. We'll just use that. Alright, Richie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. I googled Goodfellas anime, but it's all stuff from Part 5 of JoJo. You know, Part 5 of JoJo is about the Mafia.
Is it the tall Mafia?
They are very tall, yes.
Too tall.
This is why Sin won't watch JoJo, because the characters are too tall. That's actually what she said.
They are though! Am I wrong?
They're willowy.
They're like walking skyscraper.
Okay, they're too tall. Reborn is like the size of a football, though. So...
Look at how cute he is! Look at how cute he is, baby! Oh, he's so cute. Okay, Richie, thank you for this informative podcast.
Thank you for taking me to copyright school.
Do you have to go now?
I don't have to, but it's just gonna keep us talking about Reborn for another hour.
No, about something else.
Alright.